Is this live or no?
Oh, let's. So welcome. My name is Sarah Seidelman, and this is yet another interview in the Hummingbird series. I'm just introducing you to amazing people that I know who I think have something powerful to share with you. And today my guest is Michelle Gillette. Michelle, would you please say hello?
Hello. Hi.
And Michelle hails from Los Angeles, and I got to know her through, we're both Martha Beck coach trained, or Martha Beck coaches, I guess I'll say.
Right.
And Michelle has a special interest in helping people with brain health and brain function and preventing Alzheimer's, for example. And so I just invited her to share whatever it is she would like to share. And so welcome, Michelle. How did you get interested in, I know your background is being involved in hedge fund, sort of this totally different world.
Right.
And then you left that. How did that all happen? And now why brain coaching? Why brain health?
So it happened really organically. I left the hedge fund industry, which I actually loved. I happened to be paired with some great people there. I think fund is like the F word now, but they were great guys and women. And I loved that job, but when I had kids, I realized it was time for me to go. I just was so absorbed with them. My priorities had changed. But as I found myself at home and with a lot of moms, I was constantly coaching people and myself. A lot of things had come up, with new perspective came new realizations and pain and things to work through. And I kept finding that one of the people that I resonated with the most was Martha Beck, the column she would write with in Oprah. Yeah. So I became a coach and continued to work on myself and help other people. And that kind of went into this helping women, especially moms, get out of their mom malaise, or help women feel empowered at their stage in life, find their zhuzh, get vivacious again, find some vibrancy. Especially as I went into midlife, I was finding that some other women felt that same need too. Do I need an encore career, or how do I feel better? How do I get more energy? And as I came along this path, a lot of my work ended up being in functional medicine with my own body, coming out of an autoimmune disease. And that was impacting my energy to go do the things that I wanted to do. That was keeping me down sometimes. So I worked through that, coached other people on that unofficially, because I was not trained as a functional medicine coach, but it was helping a lot of people. And the next step was that I needed to sometimes help myself and then help other people. With brain fog that would come up. Like they'd have all these ideas of, oh, this is what I want to do with my life now, but then they'd be like, but I'm tired at 2:00 and I've got brain fog and I can't accomplish as much as I want to. So I shifted into what had already been a lifelong passion for brain health, and started coaching people on that as well. So my backstory also with why brain health, for personal reasons, but which stem from my father, who died by suicide. He had depression and a brain injury, and had a grandmother who had dementia, who I was extraordinarily close to. And so I'd been interested in it from that. And then here I was having an autoimmune disease, which sometimes gave me brain fog. So those were some natural ways that I got into it, and then started helping other people. And then I just made it official.
Yeah, your story really speaks to, I've heard there's a woman who wrote a book, Tara Wright Trent, and she says, ask yourself what breaks your heart. And by answering, by healing that thing that breaks your heart, that is your work in the world. And I think with the death of your dad and then having a grandmother, it's like those things, they break our heart. We feel this deep, it's like a soulful drive to go do this work in the world.
And there was a confluence of, realizing more as my daughter became the age that I was when he died by suicide. When she was 13, she asked me to do a piece on StoryCorps, and we started talking about his suicide. And I just realized, oh my God, it's really so brain injury related. And that triggered something. And then listening to the women I know and watching myself go through that, it was all this confluence of all these streams. My son had something going on with it. It's his story to tell, so I don't get into that. But all of it was back to the brain, back to the brain, back to the brain. And I was studying it, reading voraciously, and I thought, I need to put a certification on this. I ended up and I got 4, like, so I got one from the UCLA Semel Institute for Neuroscience and Human Behavior, and then a couple from the Alzheimer's Foundation for Prevention. And then I just recently finished one with the Ayman clinics, which was profoundly interesting. So,
yeah, I really, Dr. Ayman, for those of you guys who are watching, and if you don't know about him and maybe you're curious about ADHD or brain function, he's this amazing MD that has done extensive studies on kind of brain function associated with MRI and looking at these different kinds, even subtypes of ADHD, which I found really fascinating.
And SPECT scans, which are, they're not just looking at the scans to determine what someone has. It always is conjunction to the person's story. And it hit home with me with the same thing you practice and I practice from the Martha Beck training, which was we all have our, let's call it bio-individuality. We all have our individual story. So you can't do a one-size-fits-all thing to anybody. But here's a profession where you're looking at the brain, you're hearing stories, but he wanted to look at it too, not just hear as from a psychiatrist's perspective. He wanted to see it too, and he could discover things by looking at these scans that weren't revealed in just talking. So the fascinating thing to me was that statistics like that about 50% approximately of our homeless have incurred a brain injury. It changes people's behavior, and it changes their ability to make decisions in a way that, might be beneficial to them. A lot of battered women have had brain injury from being battered. So then, when we look at them and we say, why don't you leave? Well, you know what? Their executive functioning might be off. I mean, there's a lot of things, of societal issues going on. So this has just expanded a lot of like my knowledge and opened my eyes a lot to like how impactful it is. And then just day-to-day stuff that we're, maybe we're not being, having a brain injury or anything like that that's distinct that we know about. But guess what? The toxins we're ingesting, wine has a lot of pesticides unless you're doing organic. I just learned it. Oops.
Yes.
Sometimes the products we're putting on our body, there's a lot of toxicity, viruses,
Mm-hmm.
So they say that you should, like Dr. Dale Bredesen, who wrote The End of Alzheimer's, who I learned of through Maria Shriver and all her great work with women in Alzheimer's. He suggests everybody get a cognoscopy as they approach 50. Everyone knows to do that with a colonoscopy, but how about a cognoscopy to look at your brain? Because they're saying that Alzheimer's starts 30 to 50 years before you see signs. So just like with heart disease and you're incurring, more plaques and that type of thing, this is happening. There's things that we can do early on. So my work is I'm hoping to inspire people to like embrace their health, their vitality, their vivaciousness and all that. And some of that is with eliminating some of the things that are hurting us. And with brain health, there's a cool list of things that people can actually do. So providing some of the hope, not just the horrible numbers about $7.7 trillion worth of, how much that's going to cost the US. All those headlines are so daunting.
Right.
So I want to give some hope, and here's some things you can actually do to help prevent it.
Yeah. So let's talk about, so let's say there's a person and it's, as we're talking, I remember, okay, so my grandfather had early onset dementia, which we think was Lewy body dementia, but it was a young age. So 60, 55, anyway, really tragic case. So that's one of those things, nobody knows, whether that's going to impact somebody else or, so maybe somebody who's listening and they're experiencing some mom or dad or whatever, just adult brain fog in the middle of the afternoon, or just feeling like they're not firing on all cylinders as they used to be. What do you suggest, or what have you learned is, what are some of the things that we can do that are simple interventions?
Okay. So
if not a cognoscopy.
So that one I can't perform. That involves blood and urine and swabs up the nose and all kinds of other things to really go into all your microbiomes and figure stuff out, because your gut, of course, is going to be important. But let's go back. So one thing is, first of all, having memory loss is not normal. It's common. It's not normal. Way back before the Industrial Revolution, before we had all the coal and everything, all the pollutants, people, when they look back on literature and guides for life and, religious things, there weren't things about memory. That wasn't an issue, according to the experts. It became when we got this onslaught of environmental toxins, and that can be, what we're breathing, eating, and all that kind of stuff. So that's, first of all, they're not normal, but it is common. So lack of sleep is one of the biggest ones. I mean, sleep is so important because your brain, you have like a spinal fluid, and your circulation goes in and cleans out your brain when you're sleeping. So you're getting rid of some of those toxins when you're sleeping. So if you're not sleeping, you're not going through that cycle. So people with sleep apnea have up to 3 times the likelihood of Alzheimer's. It contributes also to weight gain, to brain fog, daytime fatigue. A lot of the big, huge, environmental mistakes that happened, like Chernobyl and,
right.
Exxon, they were from sleep deprivation or pilot error, that kind of thing. So sleep deprivation is huge. There are some people who won't even hire someone now unless they've got their sleep in order and they're getting 8 hours of sleep. You need 8 hours of sleep a night. And we used to have, like in 1900, 9 hours of sleep per night on average. Wow. Now we're down on average to 6. Okay, so that's 118 years. Our brain epigenetically has not had time to adjust to that. So it's not clearing out that stuff. So sleep's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. So,
and that's been going on for, I know in Ayurveda, when I studied that a little bit with the Chopra Center, I mean, that was the main thing they said, like if you can get to bed at 9:30 and sleep from 9 till 3, those are the most critical hours. Even if you're waking up at 4 a.m, that's not so terrible. But if you're getting that asleep by 10, you're actually snoring at 10 and then
right. And so, okay, so now that's easy to say, but then you have teenagers, I have teenagers. I'm not sleeping if my son is out still. Like I might fall asleep, but I'm like, whatever. I might like this, so that there's some things I just can't do a whole lot about, but I can change the amount of light I have in my room because and keep my computers away. We hear that ad nauseum, but really the reason is there's electromagnetic fields that are like microwaves from our phone and our computer. So if we have those near us, those electromagnetic signals are affecting our neurological system. Mm-hmm. And it's not like a microwave that's rhythmic, which is in some cases used for therapy type things. This is like erratic, like tick, 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 tick. So our nervous systems are like going like this. Plus, they're probably already going like this if we had coffee too late. Or if the coffee we're drinking has neurotoxins. A lot of conventional coffee has neurotoxins, tons of pesticides. So I can tell the difference. Even if somebody like doesn't show me the brand or anything, and I can tell in my body if I've had conventional coffee, because there's the high from caffeine and then there's a different jitter from neurotoxins. And I'm now cleaned out my system enough that I can tell the difference, and it will wake me up later on because I'm so sensitive. So that's one thing, is going organic with your coffee and not drinking it too late.
And it makes sense. Just like, even if we don't know what pesticides are doing to us, it just makes sense to avoid as much as possible any kind of pesticides that are designed to kill and eradicate life. So we would not want to put that in our body.
Yeah, we're not going to be around to see the results of it. We're not. So, I mean, it's one of those things that we just don't even know yet. And same with, there's a lot of things. And I don't want it to be like a big scare tactic thing. But the wonderful thing is that we have, epigenetics tell us we've got our genes, but then we have a huge opportunity. They say 70% of it is our lifestyle, but then you got to do the lifestyle stuff. You can't just read it and think, oh, yay. That's great news. And then not
doing it is a whole nother thing. Because of course, so getting sleep.
One more thing about sleep that I've found that I tell people, and it seems to help almost everyone to some degree, is I take, and this is not medical advice, but this is what I do. I take angstrom magnesium. I just take like a little teaspoon of, and that our body needs magnesium for so many functions, but this one doesn't make people run to the bathroom, which is not an easy way to sleep when you have to go to the bathroom. This one is, it's like broken down into like nano size. So it really is soluble and it goes into your system quickly. That's a relaxant. And then anything you can do that sets your parasympathetic, so you're calm, if you take a warm bath with Epsom salt, something like that. But then if you go and like get on your computer after that, you've just woke it back up again. So there's things like that, that you can do. I actually nap because I will wake up at 3 a.m. and then I'll be like, squirrel brain. A lot of my best ideas, and like actually almost feels like, sometimes it feels like psychic information coming in. Like some of my best information comes in at 3 a.m. I'm a little hesitant to like try and go back to sleep sometimes. So I just deal with it. And I take an early afternoon nap sometimes when I can, which a lot of people have. And I don't know why our American society thinks it's such a bad idea. It's actually brilliant. Like if you're somebody who can still fall asleep, not the worst thing, just not too late and not for too long.
Right, exactly. So it doesn't mess up the later sleep schedule. Okay, so getting good sleep, trying to eat organic, Wine. And then talk about wine, because this has been really interesting. I've stopped drinking in like January, and I feel so much better. I mean, it's been definitely a challenge. It's brought up a lot of issues for me, like socially, and like, how do I react when I'm the one not drinking, all that kind of stuff. But I have to say, when I do drink, if I have a couple glasses of wine, when I wake up in the morning, I do not feel great.
Yeah, that would be me today, actually. I went out last night. I'm on this big clean out. I go through these things where I call them resets. Other people call them cleanses. I do it just to clean out my body and to like reset it, and I do that, for a little bit in August, and then I do one in October. I just do them periodically. They're not to lose weight, but I end up losing weight. That's not the whole idea of it. It's really just to be cleaner, right? We do that. We clean our car.
Take care of yourself.
Everything else. Why aren't we doing that? So that's why I do that. But last night I had a drink, and I will tell you, I woke up with sinus. This was not, this was like a vodka something. Watermelon or something. And the sugar.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't eating much sugar, and I could just feel it. And I cannot get on my game today. I'm off my game from one drink. So what happens is sometimes the alcohol helps us fall asleep easier, but then we're woken up because the sugar is going through our system. And, if there's sulfites, if somebody has a problem with sulfites. So, there's a lot, somebody can Google and there's like a big list of things, of reasons why it's not good for you. There's actually quite a bit. If you look at the scans of somebody who's been drinking, some people will say, yeah, have a glass of wine every day, but there's a lot of healthier ways to get resveratrol, into your system.
Right.
And that, listen, I don't want to, that pisses people off.
We're not here to preach, right?
Yeah, people are very attached to it. They can do whatever they want. They can just know that there's like information out there if they're interested.
Yeah.
But it tends to disrupt sleep, actually. Alcohol does, but beyond all the other things that are going on. Yeah.
Right.
There is a wonderful company, if you are going to drink wine, called Dry Family Farms, and they go around the world and they find ones that have this big list of criteria of, no mycotoxins, which is like a mold, which affects a ton of people are affected by mold. So, and the sulfites, everything's got this strict guideline, and they go and find wines. And there's actually a whole little following of this, and they drink it and they aerate it in a different way, and it's a whole thing. So,
wow.
You don't have to without your wine. But two different Alzheimer's experts, one, I've heard three different things. One person says, don't drink wine, don't drink alcohol at all. One says no more than 2 glasses a week. That's the one I'm down with. And then the other one is, no, go have a glass of wine every day. But she's Italian, and she's been living in Italy, and like that's Italian wine without all the American crap in our food system. So that's
right. I met a woman just recently who's younger and trained to become somebody who's now employed at a vineyard. And she was so appalled at the amount of things they're adding to the wine to make it taste better that are not good, that she is absolutely devastated at her career and is totally working now to shift. But, she was shocked to kind of find out what was being put into the wine. So, yeah.
Tell her to go look up Dry Family Farms.
Yeah, I will send her there.
It's cool. You just read about it, and you're like, these are people who are like, they're fun, and they're just not about, they love wine. They just don't want to be toxified every day. They drink it with 34 chemicals or whatever the number was. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love just your approach. Like, we take good care of our cars. We get the maintenance on our furnaces. We make sure our dogs' nails get clipped and they get their vaccinations or whatever. All these things that
anal glands get cleaned out. And we're like,
I'm not even ready for that. But it's like, could we give ourselves that same kindness by being sure that we get enough rest, by being sure that the food that we're taking in our body is something that we would feed a baby or that we would feed someone we love, yeah.
And speaking of babies, they're being born with like terrible, like in their umbilical cord, I wish I remember the number, but it's actually a horrible number, daunting about what's already in their system.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it? Glyphosate or whatever that is.
Glyphosate, right, from Roundup. And
horrifying, because those are horrible neurotoxins. P.S. Another one, fluoride. Fluoride in the 1950s was classified as a neurotoxin, toxic waste. And now we put it in all our water system, and it's in our Cipro, which is, hey, listen, if you've got, septic, you've got some big, terrible infection, fine. But there are people, it's got a double black box warning, and like it shouldn't be for UTIs and things like that. That's like the neurotoxin. So
So how do you keep sane, like knowing all these? Because I know for a lot of us, it's just every time you read the paper or you hear something, it's something new that's to avoid. How do you, Michelle, like, how do you balance like living your life with all this information?
So I live by like the 80-20 rule. I just do what I can when I can, and I'm more aware. So for instance, I find that if I kind of have my set criteria, like I just on a daily basis, like we don't use toothpaste with fluoride, but we drink water that has fluoride. If the kids have a game or something and the jug's filled with water, it's got fluoride. I'm not going to be like, don't drink the water at the fountain at school. No, it's just, if we go to a restaurant, not everything's organic. I'm not going to only go to organic restaurants. No, I'm going to live my life, but I'm going to be more aware and more responsible with the things I can control. But I know I can't control everything. I'm just doing what I can do with, some ease. And when I first started doing it, there wasn't ease. And that's actually what some of my coaching helps people with, is like, where do you get the groceries and not pay a fortune? Where do you, go get your, what do you do with your nails? Like, I don't put, I go buff my nails sometimes. I don't need nail polish on every single day, little tiny incremental things that I can do. And I think our lifespan is not the only thing that's important. It's our health span. And so little tiny things I can do that are restorative versus depletive. Mm-hmm. That's what I do. Is it restorative? Is it depletive? Try and do more of the restorative. But, I'm not perfect at it. I think I've told you before, I have a love affair with Doritos. So
you're human.
I know the orange dust of, corn-based sin, but I love them, but and that's great, but I shouldn't be eating corn because I get tired. So my daughter, before she saw me, she's like, Mom, you were going to drive me after, and she's like, if you eat those, you're going to get tired. And I'm like, I know, I ate it anyway. And she's like, you're choosing Doritos over me. Yes, I am, because I love them that much. So I don't do it a lot, but I do it. People will go out to dinner with like, oh, you probably don't eat this. I'm like, hell yeah, I eat that. I just don't do it every day. Like I love an ice cream sundae with, caramel popcorn on it, but I have obesity in my family. The women in my family all turn out obese. So I watch that, and guess what? Obesity is, you raise your rates of Alzheimer's 2 times with obesity. So even though like I'm one of those people who would like get my dukes up and fight when somebody would do anything even closely related to fat shaming, because my grandmother, my beloved, was chubby, and I almost got put nails in some girl's tire, in 5th grade because she told me my grandma was fat. So I'm a fighter about that kind of topic. Now I look at it and go, maybe she would have lasted a little bit longer, if she was not eating margarine and like just not eating the way she was eating,
Right.
Yeah. So,
well, when we know better, we do better. So sometimes, and sometimes we don't. That's right.
I know a lot, and I don't do it all. That's one thing. I'm not like Patty Perfect here. I just try.
And I know when you're trying to make a change, I know like this year I made some big changes in just taking care of myself, and it really helped me to have a coach, kind of at my side to sort of talk through some of the things that were key, obstacles for me. So where can people find you, and how can they work with you if they're like listening and going, yeah, I want to treat myself in a better way. I want to take good care of myself.
So my website is Thrive and Fly, THRIVE and Fly. And that name was because I was really into women kind of trying to help them launch, relaunch their life kind of thing. But I think it's still, I'm keeping it that for now but there's one little tab about brain health. But anyways, you can just go there and reach me through that. On Instagram, I'm aging.gracefully. That's just more of a campaign to embrace who you are and your age, and not try and be 22 when you're 50. I'm 51. I'm proud of being 51. I love all that's come with it and the wisdom, and I'm just trying to help people focus on the brilliant, wonderful, wise, accomplished part of that, versus looking at, okay, my ass doesn't look like it does in a bathing suit anymore. Like, who cares? Like, move on. Like,
Yeah.
So aging.gracefully on Instagram, that's where I put a lot of information, like just daily things, mostly about the brain. So it's kind of doing things about the brain, but that's what I started with. And
she's got great life hacks and kind of just ideas to sort of help you in your day-to-day life and dealing with it.
Like today, it's about putting your legs upside down, for an inversion, and that brings, circulation to your brain.
Love it.
Yeah, little things like that. And on LinkedIn, I'm Michelle Gillette. There's probably a few Michelle Gillettes, but I'm this one. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here and for looking out for women and teaching us how to, take care of ourselves in this way so that we can, so that we'll have the time and the lifespan and the health span to share our wisdom, which I believe we all possess. So
thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Michelle.
Come back out to LA.
Oh, I would love to. I think I'm working on it.
Good.
So thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you. Bye.